Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Sunny Views. I'm your host Sophia, and today I'm joined by
Arina,
Hortense,
and Reyana.
And we're going to be discussing TikTok. So just to get an idea of how qualified everyone is, how many hours would you say you spend on TikTok? Or how often do you use it?
I mean, I use it like probably on a daily basis, like on the weekends more than on the school days, but like depending how much work I have to do over the days. So yeah.
Yeah, same. I'd say I spend, when I have nothing to do on weekends, I spend most of the day going on TikTok, because it's kind of it's became kind of a hobby. But yeah, on school days, I still spend a lot of time on it, so I'd say like 1 or 2 hours, which is really bad.
I'd say 0 hours.
I think I'm same with these guys, where on weekends I tend to spend quite a lot. Weekdays less so, especially recently, not that much on weekdays, but on weekends, that hours add up. Just so for the people who don't know what TikTok is, can someone describe it? What is TikTok? How is it different from other social medias?
I mean, it is an app, so it just has a lot of videos which kind of range very widely. So depending on what you like to view, your For You page kind of changes every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's just, you can find a lot of different things, and depending on what you like, as Arina said, depending on what you like and don't like, you'll get videos, and that's what really addictive. And
I just describe it as fast media, short 1 minute videos that you're just scrolling through.
Mm-hmm. And why don't you use TikTok?
I personally I feel like it's a personal choice. I don't try and push it onto anyone. I kind of just stopped using TikTok last year in winter during my mock exams, because I felt like it was making my brain kind of feel sluggish a lot, and I feel like I was discovering a lot about kind of the idea of a dopamine addiction, and I felt like I could identify with a lot of the features and symptoms of it, which is when you scroll so much that it's you get so used to that instant dopamine from the videos that it makes other aspects of your life not as satisfying. And I just kind of did it to boost my concentration for the mocks, and I felt like it worked for me, so I just never re-downloaded it.
That's interesting, because I uninstalled it during my exams, my A-level exams, and it was fine, but then after the exams I reinstalled it again because I needed that dopamine.
No, I didn't really notice a difference. Obviously, for the first few weeks, I would scroll onto the part of my homepage where the app was and almost tap it, but then it wouldn't be there. That would obviously be hard, but after a while, I don't know, I just kind of got used to not having it. And obviously, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I don't use any type of media. I do get distracted on Instagram Reels sometimes and stuff. I just think that it's better to be using that because of the principle that I'm not going on a specific app just to be scrolling and consuming media. It's okay to get distracted on an app that's for texting my friends, but I'm not going on TikTok specifically to consume media. That's
that's an interesting perspective. Do you think that, this is for everyone as well, do you think that Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and other these similar kind of videos are just reposted TikToks, or are they unique in their own ways?
I feel like they're really similar to it, and they're just new features of apps, I'd say, that are trying to kind of copy TikTok, because everyone's saying how good TikTok is working and how popular it is. Now even in the train to go to school, I see adults using TikToks. So I feel like the other apps are saying that it works really well, and they want to kind of copy it.
Yeah, I'd say I see, I don't really go onto Instagram Reels, but I'd say I see the same video coming up in Instagram, so I never really go on it, because TikTok to me is just I feel like it's it has a better For You page for me than Instagram or any other app.
I definitely feel like TikTok is more personalized. I think that for your specific media, TikTok is better, but I stand by my point.
But I mean, also sometimes I barely go on Instagram Reels, but when I do, I see videos that I have already seen on TikTok the day before, but the exact same video.
Yeah, and I didn't have TikTok for 3 months over the summer, which was tough. But I did have Instagram, so I kind of like saw the same videos, but it wasn't like the same kind of like algorithm. It wasn't like, I wasn't used to it. And I know some people do prefer Instagram Reels or like YouTube Shorts over TikTok. But like to me, like it's just, I find so much more things like on TikTok that interest me.
So you'd say TikTok has a better For You page algorithm?
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you describe your For You page?
Mine
Or
on
your Instagram
Reels, my Reels page better, but I don't know, mine's like, okay, that's like another reason I say that I don't use TikTok, was my specific TikTok For You page wasn't very for me. Like, there was a lot of things that were relatable and like kind of what I would describe as like sad TikToks, but like on Instagram Reels, I feel like my content is generally more like jokes and funny like Reels, which is kind of what I want to see when I'm like consuming media, to not like make me feel down. So that's kind of my Reels page is mostly just like jokes and things.
How would you describe you guys's?
Mine is like mostly like fashion things, modeling, and just like sometimes like I get like songs, like new releases or like fashion stuff and just random, like kind of random girly stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't really say I have like a specific, like depending, I sometimes like search for something and I would get that for like the next week on my For You page, like, and I'd be scrolling through the same TikToks until I have to like put not interested anymore because I've seen all the same TikToks. So yeah, but it's kind of just like general, like I don't really have a specific.
For me, same. It's more of like, it basically kind of is my identity, because I know before, like when you start on TikTok, like when you download the app, they ask you like what you're interested in. So I obviously put what I'm interested in, and yeah, so then my For You page is basically that. But as Arina was saying, once again, if I start liking a lot of videos that are like kind of the same or related, then I'm gonna have a lot of these videos, and it's gonna depend. If I'm, as also Reyana was saying, if I'm feeling sad or something and I see a sad video that I relate to, I'd like it, and then I will have like maybe 5 other videos like that. So it really depends kind of on my mood, I'd say. And yeah.
Yeah, it's nice that it can adapt to a specific person and also for a specific time.
Yeah, that's true.
You can kind of tell a lot about a person looking at their For You page, because sometimes you get those videos that like everyone has seen, it's got millions of likes, and then sometimes you get something that's very, very specific to you. Like, for example, I mean, if you listen to the podcast last year, you know I'm a League of Legends player. I get some very specific League of Legends videos that I really like. They only have like 500 likes. It's just for me and those 500 people, but I really doubt you guys have seen them. But then there's other videos that I think we've probably all seen. Well, maybe not Reyana because you're not on TikTok, but the rest of us we have seen, and other people using TikTok as well. What do you think makes TikTok so popular?
I don't know, actually. I feel like I'm not like qualified to answer that question, considering I don't see why it would be popular. I don't have it. So if you
I think people just like relate to like their videos. Like they just like scrolling through TikTok, just like seeing what like actually relates to them, and maybe like if people around them in that moment can't like you can't relate with them, they just like TikTok kind of just always is there to support you, I guess. So yeah, but like it's just like the scrolling and the videos. Like, I mean, I have to admit, I do not watch the long videos on TikTok. They really the 2 times speed, yeah. But like, if I'm really interested in it, I'll watch it. But like, if it's not so very specific to me, I will just skip it. Like, I can't watch those 10-minute videos. Like, no, that's YouTube.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that like the relatability is obviously something that makes it very popular, but I also think that can sometimes be like a drawback, considering how she said, like how Hortense said, if she's sad, she'll get like 5 more sad videos, and that kind of like targeted like media is like bad, because it's just gonna keep like continuing that feeling for you. Whereas if I'm feeling sad, if I go into my Reels page, it's like 500 memes, and obviously it's gonna make me feel somewhat better. That's how I think of it.
Okay.
I also feel like there's a real like, I don't really know how to call it, but like a real like scientific thing behind it. So like the aspect of like scrolling with your finger, I think that's like something really, like I'm not a professional, I don't really know, but I feel like I know some stuff, and I know like something happened in your brain, and also you get like what you want really quick. Like as soon as you scroll, you get something, and that's what a lot of like young people now are struggling with. So like if they don't get what they want, they'll get really like upset, or it's kind of like dopamine. I think
it's like everything at the touch of your fingertips. And then when it's not, and you have to work for something. Like for example, school, it's gonna be a lot harder for you. That's how I think of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think also like TikTok, it has become more popular when like a lot of like pretty much the entire population, like most of the population started using it, and like you can find so many things. Like sometimes I don't even go onto Safari to search for something. I just go onto TikTok because I know I'll find the exact information that I need. Because on Safari they just give me like whatever, like, and I'm like, I'm not interested in
all
that.
The websites you don't feel like searching
I need the specific information. So I think on TikTok I just search it up and it gives me like the videos that I like watch and I listen to them. So yeah, so it's like very convenient.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out on pop culture references?
All the time, every day, every hour of every day. Even just walking up from break time, one of my friends, Emily from the first episode, made a pop culture reference, and I did not understand it, and everyone was laughing. I can't do it. Like actually, I feel like it's such a big part of like culture nowadays to just make like TikTok references without even realizing, and then I'm just kind of just there like I don't understand, and it's like a bit awkward, but. Yeah, I feel like that's like probably the hardest thing that it's been not having TikTok for me.
Do you think TikTok can be educational, or is it purely just like for fun, recreational?
No, that was when I used to have TikTok. My older brother actually used to tell me to delete it because he was like me in this situation. And he always used to tell me like it's not educational. And I'd be like, no, it is educational. But he'd say, okay, tell me something you've learned. And it's kind of like, you're thinking, like, if you're seeing an educational TikTok, you're thinking, oh, yeah, this is teaching me something. But as soon as you kind of scroll, it kind of gives this, like, idea of you spend so little time reading something that you don't really absorb it as much as if you were, like, learning it from a textbook or something. So I really don't think that, like, it's that educational that it would actually teach you, like, important things.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the opposite, because for GCSEs, like, I actually had a playlist of, like, physics and like biology, because like for example, to remember like parts of the cell or something, like I had a like that like TikTok channel that just went through the GCSE content, and I like learned it so much quicker than like through textbooks and everything. And like physics the same, like maybe now in A level not as much, but like sometimes psychology things come up, and maybe like people that relate to me, so I just go onto their account, like see what they're studying. So sometimes, yeah, I think it can be educational. Not all the time, of course, not all the time. Not every video is educational, but yeah, sometimes you can find educational things.
Yeah, for me, same. I used to follow this guy also for GCSE who would do like live explaining like past papers of math and doing it. And it was really fun, and like I really did enjoy it. So in that way, I feel like it's educational. And also, there's a lot of new apps I've seen that it's exactly the same as TikTok, but just about like videos related to school, or like things you do in school, or things that happen in the world, like politics, or really like actually like intelligent thing. And also for my A-levels, it was educational in a way where I looked it up for my subject because I was really confused. I didn't know what to pick for my A-level subject. I really wanted to do psychology, but everyone kept on saying how hard psychology was and everything. So I just looked on TikTok, and a bunch of video of like people that did A-level edX, so what we're doing, and explaining the good points, the bad points, and just telling us how, like, giving us advice basically. And that really helped me too.
That's really good to hear. Do you think that news and information from TikTok can be trusted?
No.
No, like sometimes, but I feel like a lot of it can be fake. Like I feel like that should not be your primary
news
source.
Exactly. For that, I think
if you're getting all of your news off of TikTok.
Yeah, because I was about to say that when we were saying about like just before when we were talking about education. I feel like it's good, but you've got to be really careful also, because you don't know what's true and what's fake. Like the amount of time I've seen a video and went up to my dad saying, "Oh my God, did you see that? That's so interesting." He was like, "Hortense, that do not exist. That's not something true." And yeah, so we have to be careful, I feel like. And also for the youngest, like that they don't really know, because now people are getting TikToks from crazy early age. So like they don't know about like fake news and like actual news. So yeah.
I feel like what Hortense was saying before about like the fact that it really helped her with her A-levels, like choosing her A-levels, because she could see like people's input about like their A-levels. I feel like that's so like, that's another thing that's like making it hard for me to not have TikTok, because it's where do I find like people's inputs and like people's opinions on like things I need like help with, like for example choosing my A-levels or choosing my uni course even. Like TikTok is kind of just there to give you people's opinions, but I feel like it again like ties back into the fact that that's a benefit, but I can't limit it to just that. I will get distracted on it, so I feel like that's what's making it hard, but I can't actually download it.
I think we enjoy TikTok, like what you're saying, Reyana, but like because we need a person like a human being to tell us this, like these points. We can't just like go onto Google and like search something on a website. Like, why is psychology like A-level good? Like, it's just going to tell us a bunch of points which we won't understand who wrote it. Like maybe AI wrote it, and like how would we know if it's real? But if like a girl or a boy like our age, like similar age, is sitting like in our screen and we just like relate to them and just think like we feel it more in deep.
Yeah, because on Safari, if you just look up for is A-level psychology good, it's just going to come up with a bunch of points. And that's it, but really general thing. Here on TikTok, we actually get a person point of view and like how did they manage everything and like what they've been through while doing psychology. And it gives us a real,
Some governments have banned TikTok, and then some of them were debating whether to ban it. So, for example, it's it's illegal in India, or not illegal, it's not available in India. And I think you probably know from like America was debating, they had this big debate about whether or not TikTok should be banned. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it's not available in Russia, and I went for 3 months in summer. But so many of my friends have found a way to get TikTok. Like, so many of them, they've bought these certificates that TikTok sells. Like I don't know where it is because I didn't need it for 3 months. So they buy yearly certificates, which don't even cost that much, and they get the same TikTok that I get, even though it's literally banned in the country. So the people that want to get TikTok, they will find a way to like get it.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm really like I agree with both of the two sides. I feel like I understand why some government would like to ban it, and some don't mind it. But yeah, I've seen this thing, and I don't know if it's like 100% true. I didn't like.
Where did she see it?
No, I didn't see on
What's your
TikTok.
source?
I didn't see on TikTok, but I don't have a specific source. But TikTok was created by China, if I'm not wrong, and apparently I heard that in China they have TikTok, but it's a special TikTok where it's only about educational things, and then the rest of the world have the TikTok we all have. And that's why I feel like some government would like to ban it, because it's like TikTok is trying to get our population I don't know, not dumb, but
yeah, I get what you mean. It's kind of like if they're not doing it for their own population when they created it, there must be something wrong with it. Yeah,
definitely.
I can see that. Yeah, I think governments banning it, it's I like Hortense, I kind of agree with it and I don't agree with it, but I think that if they ban it, as Arina said, someone's always going to find a way. And if it's forbidden, people are going to want it more. I feel like if I was running a government, I would just I feel like everyone should have access, and the people who want to limit it should limit it. It's your personal choice. Sure.
Yeah, your phone always has the limited, you can put TikTok for, I don't know, 2 hours, 1 hour a day, 30 minutes a day. And that's just your own choice how much you want to go on TikTok. And I think governments genuinely banning it. Yeah, like Reyana said, it's just making the people want to get it more. It's it's like when they closed us for COVID, we just wanted to go out even more, even though I was always fine at home, I guess, just hanging around in my house. And then when COVID hit, I was like, oh my God, I want to go outside. It's at the end, banning something, you want it more. So
yeah, but I mean, is it gonna change it all? It's not gonna change anything if the government just say, oh well, you can still have it, but if you want to delete it, you're gonna delete it. But I mean, everyone kind of knows that TikTok is not the best thing for us, and there's really bad side of it, and we still don't do anything about it. We keep on going on it every day, so I feel it won't make a really big change.
Arina mentioned the fact that you can set like a timer, like a 2-hour timer, and then you turn off the amount of people I've seen when like it flashes up on their screen and they press like ignore.
That's me.
But I feel like that's so like, I feel like that when that used to happen to me, I tried like everything timers with TikTok, and I was pressing ignore. I felt like such a weak person because it's like that I really can't switch this off. But I think that was also just like, I think that it's kind of made for like to trick you into not turning it off and to wanting to see more. So I feel like it doesn't actually make you a weak person. I feel like the app kind of does have that control over you, which is kind of a reason that I also don't use it again.
I don't know if you guys seen this guy on TikTok. Like, I've had him for maybe a week. Like, I saw him just a few days ago, and like he literally just shows up. He's just sitting in front of a screen, and he's like, "I know you're scrolling on your For You page. I know you're scrolling. Just go to sleep." I listen to that guy like more than I listen to like my parents telling me to go to sleep. My parents telling me to go to TikTok. Like with the timers, I literally like last night he was like, "I know you're scrolling again." I was like, "Okay." I put my phone down and I went to bed because like I don't know. It's just I think now people have started to realize that TikTok like may affect our brains, so they've started to make like videos like this to just at least try and get people to go off TikTok or stuff like that.
The way I see those videos is like it's kind of snapping you out of a trance, like you're just like,
exactly.
So I feel like that's crazy to me. Like the fact that you need that video to turn it off, that means the app is there's something wrong with it.
So then you would say it's really addictive.
Extremely addictive.
Yeah, I mean these videos. I mean even TikTok gives you videos telling you to switch it off now because you've been on it for too much. It's very much reminds me of how cigarettes have like like pictures of smokers' lungs, and they're telling you don't buy these cigarettes, but people still buy loads of cigarettes. Do you think it's like a good comparison to make, or?
I think it is. I feel like I feel like I've seen like reels of psychologists like talking about how dopamine addiction is a very real thing, and it does come from these media apps like TikTok and even like YouTube Shorts and everything like that. Just those kind of quick media can really give you something bad like that. So I think it's a fair comparison to make.
Yeah, like in the past, people when they didn't have TikTok, like they got the dopamine from other things, like going outside, like talking to other people and just doing other things like hobbies. But now people have like stopped doing those things, and I think for this, I'd say like we should start like maybe like doing more things outside and like stop just like sending each other these TikToks and maybe like actually meet up and talk about like these like popular things on the internet. Like it's just like that's the way to get dopamine, but yeah, it's very difficult to get off of TikTok and just get that addiction out because it's just like kind of impossible to me, at least. Like I'm always every day like I know I'll have TikTok there just if I'm bored or something.
Do you think people are getting a shorter attention span from TikTok? Because my youngest brother is 11 years old, and sometimes I go into his room and see him. He's got on the first PC monitor, he's got a game like Roblox or something. On the second monitor, there's some YouTube videos, and then in his hands, he's playing Brawl Stars as well. You think this is just my brother, or do you think this is like a
that
big
reminds
thing?
me of like those TikToks where it's teaching you something educational, so everyone thinks it's educational, but then at the bottom they're playing Subway Surfers.
Or like slime and everything.
Literally, and it's like you're like, oh, it's educational, but it's actually just giving you such a short attention span because you can't actually focus on one thing because there's so many things going on. And I feel like it kind of just ties back to this thing of you never really let yourself be bored. Like if TikTok's always there, whenever you're bored, you can just go on TikTok and not be bored anymore. Then you're never really letting yourself be bored, and that kind of takes away, like, especially for children, I feel like it takes away that kind of like natural curiosity. Like you don't take time to just think about things. You just kind of always have something to do.
And I've seen lately that, well, it's new to me. I don't know if it's been on TikTok forever or what, but now you can put videos in like ×2, so like speed up. And I've seen people, once again in the street or in the train, they go on TikTok, they scroll, and they just press the like speed up button, and they just watch all the videos in speed up, and they scroll and speed up and speed up.
Yeah, the speed up is like.
And I'm like, at least watch the video. Like it's like what, 1 minute video or like I don't know. And now people just like speed up more. And yeah, like I don't like, yeah, for me it's the same. Like I have such a short span, attention span. Yeah. For example, when I'm watching a video on YouTube, and like I'm actually interested in the video, but I feel this need to take my phone and still go on TikTok while watching the video.
Yeah.
And I do not know how to explain this. Like, why?
Yeah, I've realized it with movies also. Like, when I was younger, I used to enjoy movies so much, and I'd sit there like for however long the movie would go on. And now I start watching a movie and I get bored so quickly.
Same.
Like, unless I'm sitting eating popcorn and like physically doing something else, I get so bored. Like, I can't just sit there and watch a movie. Like, I'm not interested in, like, unless it's a movie that I know there's no movie that like that I just don't grab my phone and like, or I don't have like the want to grab my phone and go on TikTok. It's so, such a short attention span.
Yeah, me too, I think, because sometimes, I mean, if I'm watching like a really, really good show where every second something's happening and I gotta, it's like my favorite thing ever, then I'm like fully focused watching every detail. But if it's just like a movie or like a show someone's recommended, then, and I'm not always interested in every single second, then I might have my phone, like not necessarily on TikTok, but I might be just playing like a mobile game or something while I'm watching, or what I used to do when I was younger, was play like Minecraft or Roblox or something on my main monitor and then put like a show on the second monitor and then just binge watch that way. Just consume maximum content.
Yeah, I know. And I know it's not like good, but also even sometimes when I'm doing my homework, I have to have like kind of this background. I don't know really if it's related to it, but like I need to have this like kind of background noise and like have a show or like a video.
Yeah.
Even though I'm doing my homework, and that's really bad. I shouldn't probably be saying that on this whole podcast, but yeah. So I should stop doing that.
Sorry, I forgot the next question. Oh yeah, sorry. So if you were a parent and your child says, "Can I have TikTok, please?" What age would you say yeah, or would you never say yeah?
Oh, I'd probably like. Okay, now I've seen like kids on TikTok which are like what 4 or 5. Like, I genuinely find that like no, like I would not let my kid have TikTok when they're 4 or 5, and I wouldn't even let them watch all the YouTube videos. Like, I have a friend that like she has a little brother, and since he was a kid he's had a phone. He has like 100 billion games, like Roblox, and he's literally 5 years old. He knows how to do everything in Roblox. He knows how to purchase things like in Roblox, so he like spends like so much money because the card is like
money.
Like, yeah, he just goes onto Roblox, he buys whatever he wants, like. And he just watches the most, like, the YouTube videos that he watches have nothing to, like, they're
just brain rot.
Yeah, just brain rot, like, completely. And I'm just thinking, like, if this was my kid, I would not allow my kid to do this. Like, I wouldn't, like, the phone would genuinely just have, like, YouTube with the For You page of, like, I don't know, like, actual educational stuff, or at least some part of it would be educational. And like games, like also educational games, like, and TikTok, like until they're, oh no, I'd say like 10, 12, something like that. Even like I'd have to see, because it's so difficult, because then they start going to school and they start seeing other people have it, and it's just like so difficult. But yeah,
because there's always that one kid in class who's like, oh, I had TikTok at 6 years old. But then when you think back on it, that was not okay.
Exactly. And it's just also what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say, but oh well, I might remember.
Okay, do you want to go? What age would you guys let your kid?
I don't know.
Or never?
I feel like maybe I just let them have it at like 13, but slowly like manipulate them to thinking it's really bad. And like, oh, you're watching TikTok again. No, but I don't know. I feel like, again, it's a choice. I'd give my child TikTok, but I feel like also it's such a terrible thing, like, to be left out, and especially it'll be like the next generation. Everyone's gonna be more on TikTok, so I wouldn't want my child to be like left out or like unpopular because he doesn't fit in with all the like kids who are watching TikTok. But yeah, I definitely try and limit it. But even I would definitely do the thing with like parental controls, timers, even though I know it doesn't really work. Like, I've seen my friends just kind of ignore their parental controls, but it'd be something I would try because it's the best you can do, in my opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, like, I've thought about this, like, just alone, I don't know why, but I've thought about this before, and I'm really, like, what would I do? Because, as Reyana was saying, now, like, it's really popular, and if you kind of want to have friends, you kind of have to, like, have TikTok, you know, in a certain way, because everyone relates to it, and everyone talks about it. So, I would like my child to have it, but at the same time I really don't want my kid to have it, because like I know how bad it is even though I use it. So and it's crazy, but I'd probably say like 14 or something. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to be that strict mom who doesn't let her child like do anything. So yeah, it's really complicated for me. And
yeah, like TikTok is an app like that. It's so easily to change the logarithm. Like maybe you like put like the logarithm to have like educational videos and whatever, and your kid is watching it, but then from 1 second they see a video that like it's just brain rot and they like it, and that's it. Like completely, like all the educational videos are gone, and you have just these like videos that like these kids like to watch. And,
you don't even have to like it, because I have noticed sometimes when you spend a really long time on TikTok, your For You page starts getting slowly more and more just brain rot, where at the beginning you'll be actually interesting videos, and then by the end it's just like a clip of South Park with like at the bottom like a slime video, and then like some Subway Surfers in the corner, and then you just gotta be like, why am I watching this? What am I doing with my life?
I feel like the fact that there even is like a section of TikTok known as brain rot, like I feel like everyone on TikTok knows how bad it is for them, but they still just like for some reason don't get off of it. And I feel like that's kind of, I mean, I'm not like accusing anyone, like I didn't do it for so long, and it really like made my, like I had headaches and like a lot of brain fog during the time where I was on TikTok, because I'm really bad at like controlling myself. Like I can get addicted to things so easily. I remember during the mock period, when I realized I needed to delete TikTok was when I was having 7 hours screen time on TikTok, like on the weekends when I was supposed to be studying. So that's when I realized that it was bad.
Yeah, I sometimes like hate TikTok for its logarithm, because I start watching a show, like a popular show, for example, a new season, and I get so many just like spoilers, and I'm like,
that's so true.
why? Like, why do I get these spoilers? I'm just started to watch this like show. It's been out for the 2 days. Like it's been out for nothing, and there's already so many videos that just have these like videos of the characters or like of the people in the shows, or like the spoilers, and it's just like, please stop. So like that's what annoys me of TikTok like a lot.
And I feel like also there's like, it's so easy, because I feel like there's two sides on TikTok, and I feel it's so, there's like a good side where it's like funny videos or like videos you're interested in, but there's also like a really like kind of dark TikTok with this with this video that was really not appropriate, even like for us now, or even for like smaller younger kids, and I feel like it's so easy to just switch. Like if you don't have the good For You page, you just fall into really weird videos that are like, why we're on TikToks.
We're running out of time, but my final question is, do you think TikTok can survive in the future, or will it die out?
Like I think trends like evolve every single day. Like today I can go on TikTok and there can be like a new thing like on TikTok, and I think like it will survive. I think it's an app that like so many people like, and banning it or deleting it would just like kind of corrupt the population.
Yeah, I feel like it would survive, but there would be new features added to, like new apps collaborating with TikTok and doing something like that. Because I feel like at some point everyone's gonna get like, people are really addicted to it, but like at some point like we're gonna get bored of it.
I think like it's happened so many times in the past with like Vine or Musical.ly, where everyone loves an app and it just fizzles out. But like I really don't think the same thing would happen with TikTok, because it just seems like an app that has like so much, like too much control over people. Like people love TikTok, so I feel like it wouldn't go out, or as Hortense said, it would just add new features.
Like every time there's a pop culture reference, it's instantly on TikTok, or it's come from TikTok. TikTok is like the pop culture thing right now.
It's basically like shaping today's society.
Even now, politics, like I know the French politics, or like even in America right now, I know there's like some French politician who like, well, I don't know if they actually have TikTok or if some like people around them, but they actually do video to like kind of influence people, and I found that crazy. Like even politicians now go on TikTok to like influence people.
I think we'll wrap it up there. This is a really interesting topic. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you guys for coming, and thank you for our team behind the scenes, Albert and Jess. Join us next week for the scariest episode yet about Halloween.
Bye.